Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Ferris Makes Emulators. This is episode 65, Libretro Impl Part 6. We're still working on Libretro, specifically working on serialization stuff. If my face looks weird, it's because I switched cameras again. This is the camera that I used to stick inside the Virtual Boy, but since I'm not doing as much testing these days, I might as well use the good camera for my mug. Hey, Dark Second. So last time we left off on basically talking about how we were going to do the serialization. Hi, Tobe. And the thing here is that I'm still pretty happy with this design. It's kind of jumbled around in my head a little bit over the last few weeks. Obviously, I haven't been thinking about it 100% of the time. Been working on demos and some other things like that. But, yeah. Basically, I'm still pretty happy with how this is going to work. So today I want to actually get to implementing this, because I think we also tried Saturday on its own. No, this was actually testing the Virtual Boy serialization stuff just on its own top-level project. So never mind. I was wrong about that. But yeah. Hey, Miss Visser. Schulbroder, hey, how's it going? So yeah, I think we'll get working on this stuff. Basically what we need to do now is we have in this serialization crate here, this version state, pattern here. Actually, wait a minute. Hold up. I may have had a Twitter conversation about this that I forgot about. Let me pull this up. I might also be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the dude who calls himself G. Suberland in the chat normally, I think he and I had a conversation about this, and then I forgot what we talked about. The unfortunate part is, after revision, Twitter has been very active, so I'll probably have to really dig in here to find this. Isn't this fun? Just watch me stare at half of the screen and not even see what I'm doing. I can at least show what I'm doing. Literally just scrolling through Twitter. Okay, here we're getting around where it should be. Okay, I'm not seeing what I was looking for. So I'm just gonna start moving and hope it comes back to me. So what we need to do here is we actually need to start capturing the state of the emulator in this structure instead of just having this testing field here. I don't think this will be particularly difficult. I also want to start separating these into these different versioned modules into their own files. But for now, I'll keep it all in here just to make it easy while I edit, and then we'll figure out how we want to separate that after. Which one of the nice things about Rust module system is you're just able to do that. So I'm going to go into the core. I'll pull up Virtual Boy. So we basically need to, I think we'll do this. Move that down there. So I'm thinking this version state, we're going to have something like this. I want to basically mirror the V810 state. I want to basically mirror all of the different structs that we have and have each of those have their own stakes. I think that'll make it easiest to write this stuff. Because then we can do pub CPU, which is going to be V810 state, for example. That's pretty cool. And then we'll also want to have all of these available here so that we can get serialization, deserialization on them again. Hey, Pyro. And the nice thing is all this stuff stays the same. We're also going to do this stuff, but we'll get there. First, I just want to write out everything that we actually need in there. So if you go to the V810, I'm going to also pull that down. This probably also has, like we're probably also going to save out the cache, things like that. So this will also be somewhat deep. But what I have to do is just kind of go through and do this. Just get it done. So let's just start copying stuff out of this V810 struct. So we should have reg PC, and like everything public. These will just be plain old data. And then we're going to have the GPRs, and we'll do also a box pointer of 32U32s. Or box slice, that is. You know what? I can actually just copy this. I realized a lot of this state just needs to be here. Again, just mirroring what we already have in the other stuff, in the other V810 struct. Because as far as I know, there's none of this state that we don't want. All this is necessary to be able to pick up execution exactly where it left off. So we're also going to want the cache. This is kind of unfortunate that the watch points, which are used in the debugger, is part of the CPU struct. I might make a decision to just not have that. The cache is separated out here. I'll do this for now, actually, if I want this. Yeah, Pyro, that's exactly it. Working on serialization and deserialization, which will be used by the Libretro stuff for save states and probably some other stuff, but like rewind as well. We figured out the design of how this was going to work last time. So now we're just hammering down and doing it. I also have my audio disabled, by the way, so when I test this, you guys won't hear anything. And that's so I can listen to music, because this is totally one of those days where I just have to plow through this stuff more than anything. And music helps. So, looking at the cache. Just gonna basically copy this again. A cache entry state. Gonna copy this out here. We can even, and this will probably make some sense actually. We should actually probably have other modules here that reflect the same module structure that we have for the other stuff. Maybe that's not necessary, but I kind of feel like, especially when we have names like cache state, that sounds really general. If we stick it in the V810 module, then it's very clear that that's part of that cache. I imagine we also want this public. Dark2nd says, can you make a box slice without using vec? I think you can if you alloc directly. There's not very nice safe ways to do it at the moment. There's box syntax on nightly, but we'll just be going through a vec in this case. Or in this case, we'll actually clone it because it's the same type. So that shouldn't be too bad. Hello, Lexemtex. Yeah, and we need this as well. I think we need self here. For this. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't like having this in here. So that we might have to do a different way. We might have to implement serialize and deserialize specifically for this. That's not too bad. Oh yeah, Dark Second, that's box syntax, not boxed, if you want to look into that later. You basically write box and then the array or whatever, if I recall correctly. It's been on nightly Rust basically as long as I've used Rust. So I don't know what the deal with that is. I'm going to wait on whatever we need here. Just going to get the rest of it jotted down first. I'm going to match this stuff pretty closely, I think. Probably some of this gets a bit simplified as well as we get into this. So if like the states for these memories, they don't need access functions for the states. They can just be slices. So we can probably make those a lot simpler, I can imagine. Basically going to be these. SRAM is going to need a couple more things if I recall correctly. Because SRAM also needs its size, which is dynamic. So we'll do SRAM state here. That should really be U32 here, but until I fix on the actual struct, I don't want to fix that here. Then we need all this other stuff. VIP state. Whoop. Probably just going to yell at us a lot if I save now, so we definitely want to have like the gamepad state and the COM port state too, because like the COM port might be in the middle of a transfer. The gamepad might have buttons held down. So we want to actually capture that in the states here. Basically anything that we would need to continue right where we left off, we want that in there. So let's do the VIP stuff. I guess this goes after SRAM. Yeah, I'm sure this will. It's these specific arrays with specific lengths that are quite long that'll probably have issues. So it might just be that we end up doing that, for example, and get that serialized, but I'll wait before I let the compiler yell at me again. Self that. Oops. Probably don't need the gamma table here. It's okay if we expose some of these enums as long as they're going to work. Actually, no. We're going to want to... we're probably going to want to mirror these in case they change in the core. We don't want errors here. We could also mirror them when we actually change stuff. But, yeah. I'd rather just mirror everything now. That's not basic data types. Basically all these states we want. I can't think of a single one of these we don't want to have here. It is a lot of state, but that's totally... that's just how it is for this video chip. A lot of registers. And this is also the reason why I wanted to have versioned serialization structures, is because if we change how we implement some of this stuff, then maybe some of these will actually change, and we need to be able to convert. We want to have all of the running state captured in these structures. So the only enums that were actually here were display state and drawing state. Also, we have to do a couple things here that I forgot, like this and this. I'll get that on here too. I did that on the cache stuff. Yeah. Some of these are going to end up having the same name, I think, as some of these other ones in the public stuff. We could do this, which reads kind of stupid, but actually makes sense with the rest of the pattern. So I'm actually going to leave that. We'll see if I hit it in a minute. VSU is, this one's going to fan out a lot in terms of structures. The nice thing is that whenever we want to change this, like the formats here, we'll just fork this. So the workflow here isn't going to be too crap after this first time. All these are going to fan out. Oh, whoops, I didn't make this in the structure. That will probably help. Nice thing is we don't need any of the behavior here. We really just need the structures themselves. There are a fair bit of them, though. Especially for a couple of these. But this is the entire state for an entire emulator. So I did expect this. This is also why I went in and figured out how we were going to do this before I started doing this work. So this is not really any surprises, at least. Yet. Some of these voice structs, too, they have some like repeated fields, but it just made more sense just have them as separate things anyway. And also we could fold a lot of this into the other structures, but I'd rather have it mirror what it is in the emulator as much as possible. Because I think that'll reduce the possibility for introducing errors in this code, which is somewhat high just due to the large sizes of these structures. But not high enough that I'm too worried about it. So we'll do the timer state. I didn't make all those fields public, did I? We'll want to do that. Luckily, the compiler will yell at us for a lot of this stuff. And we will want all this to be public. Actually, maybe we won't. But I'm going to do it anyway, because the way I think this will be done. We'll fix it later if we have to. Again, the compiler will warn us about that stuff, so should be okay. Okay, get back to our timer up here. That's all there is, so that's not too bad at all. The gamepad will do. This state's pretty simple. You know, we actually don't need this. Just the gamepad state. Hey, tourist. We will want these on this struct. And the comport state we'll also need. So now, let the compiler yell at us. Yeah, still doesn't like these cache entries. Let's just see if it's fine with that, which should be compatible enough. Okay, so we have some of these types that are private. That should be fine. Make those public. This is going pretty smoothly, I must say. Okay. Compiler stopped yelling at us. That's a good sign. I'm going to go back. And I think I am actually going to store the watch points from our CPU. Because they are there. Do this. And this probably complains now that hash set is not in scope. And that's easy to fix because we can use std collections hash sets. Cool. Yeah, so then we have these apply and get state functions. I'm going to do it this way. Yeah, this is going to be pretty nasty looking, but I don't think it'll be terribly large. I think I'll want to do it like this. I might fan out the get state stuff for individual structures, but we'll see. Probably just do that down here if I do that. So might as well just do it like this. We'll do... You know, I'm not actually sure if we want different modules here. It might just be... None of this stuff was actually ambiguous. And it'll be annoying to have to do all the usings for this. So I think I'm actually going to remove these separate modules before I write this thing. Yeah, absolutely. We can just swap out the encoding if we want. Although I'm pretty sure I'm gonna want something human readable still, because I really don't like, even if this is a couple megs, that's not a problem. Should look something like that. That to get our signature. And here we go. So we're going to return a state. And that's the interconnect is going to be something. First of all, I'm actually going to put this in its own module now so I can bring it down to my other part of my screen and look at that. Let's do that. If we need to stuff these in other modules, we can always do that later. That's not going to be a problem. Great. Now I'll just start doing the stuff. We probably need to do a bunch of these. That's probably fine. And then we'll do should be, wait, do I have a way to get out the bytes here? Yeah, so we're going to end up making a lot of stuff public, I think. Because I want to keep the serialization separate from the structures themselves. So I don't want to just add a bunch of stuff onto the structures like functions to be able to read out the serialization stuff, because I don't want to change that stuff when we change things that are serialized. Even though those changes will probably go together anyway, but still, it should make it easier to keep the version stuff how it is. The annoying part, though, is that for something like the ROM, for example, none of this stuff is public. For good reason. But I could always do like getters, for example. Because for example, on the ROM structure, I don't want this bytes thing to be public ideally. As I could do, for example, pub function clone bytes. Somehow that feels better to put after this size. Maybe even way down here. I want to do clone bytes instead of just bytes because like there are several places where self.bytes is referenced here, and I don't want that to be ambiguous. Maybe that's not an issue. I feel like that won't compile. If it does, I guess that's okay. And I suppose I could just do it as a slice as well, because it shouldn't really be an issue here. Then the other thing can clone if it wants. That's probably best because you can just get an immutable view of the bytes if you need it. Most things shouldn't use this. They should do, you know, read byte and read half word with addresses because then they get properly masked. Yeah. I think this is the best we're going to do for these. Because then up here, that gives us a slice. Yeah, I could do as bytes. That's consistent with the standard library. But I kind of like the name bytes here, at least. Yeah, as slice is also could also be nice. I'm actually going to do that, I think. I think I like that. And then yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Move away. That's what we need after that. Forgot you could do 2vec. I think this is fine though, in terms of how that reads. Rest seem to be okay with it. Let's use that pattern. Do this stuff again. Here I even have bytes pointer. I think I did here too. I'm not sure. Wonder what I use that for. Oh, I know what I use that for. I use that for some other stuff in Libretro, where you can actually expose pointers to this stuff. It makes the like this actually really contradictory and unsafe, but it's fine. Oh, that'd be a cool movie. I also haven't been looking at it in a long time. Look at SRAM as well. And then we need the VIP. This is where stuff will definitely fan out here. But we could do... wait a minute. Yeah, I'm also going to put out the... expose the VRAM stuff as a slice as well. Kind of sucks that we have to write all this out multiple times, so I might fan this out too. Not sure yet. I'm just gonna write it out until it bugs me, and if it doesn't bug me, then we'll leave it as this. It's usually how this works. Do we not have the VRAM? I don't think we do actually, because I think I did, yeah, this, and then just use the pointer wherever it can. That should be enough to fix that. I think a lot of this wasn't public. And I'll probably just make it public, to be honest. I mean, I guess I could for like the other bytes and stuff too. It's one of the annoying things about serialization is that it's such a cross-cutting concern like this. But I'd rather have things public generally. Like the fact that they're private, like mostly protects them. But I mean, from what? I guess me being an idiot. But generally our access patterns between modules are pretty consistent, so I'm not too worried about that. So I might get rid of the as slice stuff that I did. We'll see. Gamma table we don't need because we're not going to serialize that. It is about to get nuts. extra in there. So what I want to do here is get rid of the ends of all these. So what I'm going to do is this, shift end like that, add back the commas. Ha! I love that. And then I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do shift home, copy, and left space paste. That was kind of cool, except we don't need to just paste because we need to do vv.interconnect.vip.paste. Nuts. Where's this error coming from, by the way? I don't know. And this isn't entirely correct because these states are going to need to be mapped. But we'll get there. Actually going to do this. Let me comment this out. Just to build this. I want to see what it complains about. Okay, it doesn't like WRAM. Yeah, this is why. Same thing. Right, so the VIP here leaked these, which are private initially. But if we want to look at them, we need to make them public, and that's fine. Yep, and now it complains about the display states. Oh yeah, the SRAM state was different, so we have to change that. And then the rest is just missing stuff, which is great. That's what we want. So let me look at the SRAM state. Yeah, we needed the bytes. I already have a size thing here for that. Actually, a fair amount of this stuff that just has these getters throughout the emulator that I could just turn into public fields. Reduce some code there. I'm going to do this too, just match these inline. Here's these. Something like that. I'll do this stuff again. Yeah, well, let's just do this here. Missing fields is all we want. Yeah. These errors look good, so we'll just continue. Okay, looking good so far. Oh, we got another one. Hopefully that's just the missing stuff again, though. Fabio Area, thanks for follow. Yeah, it's all just missing stuff, which is great. Again, ideal. Let's just tackle the VSU stuff next. Why not? And this will be VSU state. And for this, there's a lot of structures that we're going to want to fan out. More so than previous ones. Because a lot of the structures use the same structures underneath. I'm also just going to go through the VSU stuff and make everything public really quick. Just in here. Yeah, for example, all of these are going to be different. I think I can just clone this stuff. Lead hacks. Even. Yeah, these ones are going to fan out. Yeah. I might do the other ones and come back to that. Even though I just have to do it now anyway. I'll do it now. You can always just do this with these non-public functions here. So this will be this. because then this will be this. Again here. Yeah. LRB has to be LRB. This is trivial. Oops. Not even gonna bother doing the fancy stuff here. We want the envelope as well. I'll get to that, but this is going to be this. Yeah, and not all these are standard sounds actually, because we need the sweet mod sound and the noise sound, and I'm probably just going to inline these. Did I do LRB again? I didn't, did I? No, should be LRB. We'll do Sweet mod sound states. A lot of state in the sweet mod sound, and that's fine. I'll just redo this one so I can batch do this again. Whoops. That's fine. Yep, that should be sound 5. That'll be easy to fix. Nice. He's crying. Finally digging into the serialization stuff. That should actually be it for the VSU. Actually is not that bad once I've started to write all this out. We've still got a couple more of these larger ones, but looking pretty good. So we need the timer now. Also, I realized some of this stuff is not public. So I need to fix that. Yeah, and I'm just going to make all the timer fields public as well. do for the timer state? Yeah, I had the interval state thing, so we're going to have to match this. Which means we also need to bring this in here. That's fine. Also, this should be version 1 for a lot of these. I just realized. Okay, and this will be large. Okay. Making progress. Yes, so now we need to make a bunch of the VSU types public. They were not before. That's okay. And of course we need to make basically all their fields public as well to make this inspectable. Hey, Drew, too. I just thought of something. No, never mind. We're doing this fine. I just thought that depending on how this was serialized, we could actually serialize the... No, never mind. Never mind. Do not listen to me. I'm speaking nonsense words. Yeah, exactly. That's along the lines I was thinking of, move away. But I realized I don't want to do that. It's funny you bring that up, Drew. Because I was, yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I agree that that was an asshole comment, to be honest. But I don't want to say much more about it than that. I just want to let it be. Because it wasn't me being an asshole. Just some rando on the internet insulting me and then giving me a command. Kind of thing I don't want to spend too much mental energy on. So it is what it is. Apparently interconnect is private even. Oh no, wait a minute. That's oh, field VSU. Yeah, that makes sense because of these. Yeah, not quite Mogans. I like taking orders from random gobshits that I know. I guess then they wouldn't be random. Yeah, thanks, Drew. I appreciate you saying that. I mean, to be honest, I also don't feel like I did a bad job at the live coding at all. Like, I totally believe Provad deserved that win. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that it was not fair or anything. He totally deserved to win. I just think that I did a great job. I made something that I thought was really cool. I went a somewhat unique route, and I had a lot of fun. So that's what it was. If someone wants to call that attempt quote unquote weak, they're happy to try it themselves. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Hey, Okama. But again, I do appreciate you saying that, Drew, too. Because I really had a lot of fun with that. And I especially had a lot of fun doing that to Alkama's music. We're talking about the live coding compo, Alkama. And I really was, I think I told you this a couple times before, but I was so happy, Alkama, that you were doing the music during the round that I was live coding in. Because I really especially wanted this 4 on the floor stuff. And it was awesome. I know you did, Alkama, and I really appreciate that. Because I think that really worked well. Yeah, thanks, Mogans. I also appreciate that. I mean, that's how I feel about it, but other people who plan things out, I got no problem with that, because that's another way that I think is a valid way to compete in that competition. I do it the way that I think is fun. Pyro, I don't think it's on YouTube yet. I think it's still on Revision's Twitch videos, but you kind of have to dig for them. It's like in the middle of like an 18-hour long video of a different name, because they just like ran the stream the whole time. Oh, is it on YouTube? Alkama, you should. I think you're whitelisted, but I would love to have that link. Yeah, Drew, please share. Oh, it's like a whole qualifications video. Nice. That's awesome. Thanks, Alkama, for that link. Hold on. Now I got to answer a YouTube comment. Not the one we're talking about, but a different one. Someone asked for shader toy implementations of the scenes in Elysian. And I'm just going to say that. Glad you like it. Unfortunately, these are rendered with polygons. So, no shader toy Impl. Glad you like the sync, Alkama. I just tweaked the time multiplier so that it went the right time. But I really like that. That's what I wanted to do. I'm like, honestly, mentally, I'm really detached from like winning or losing in the shader compo. And it's totally because because I know that I try to do new things and just kind of I like to wing it. And you can't really expect to win or lose when you have that attitude, because you will go against people that plan stuff for a long time and really practice. And again, I think that's totally valid. But I can't always expect to win if I'm gonna wing it. So. I can say that streaming really helps with that guts thing. I'm just used to coding in public now. Exactly, Dark Second. It is 99. And I'm partying like that all the time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that again at Solskjaer. Especially the more I do those competitions, the more fun I have doing them. Make all this stuff public. Yeah, especially I feel a lot differently about even just coding on the stream than I used to. I used to be really concerned with like honestly making a really good stream. To put it really bluntly. And like making sure I did things right all the time and all that stuff. And you just kind of realize that people don't really care that much. They just kind of want to hang out. I think that's generally true of those live coding competitions as well. They just want a good show. Or maybe that's contradictory to my point. I don't know. I'm doing two things at once. I don't care. Yeah, I totally know what you mean, Drew. After a while, it's just kind of way. Especially because, like, it's ironic. One of the things I found is that I get most, like so if you judge a stream success on some kind of metric, which I don't suggest anyone does, and I struggle to not to myself a lot of the time. But, like, for example, chat interaction is one of the metrics that's given to you by Twitch analytics. And if I judge my streams by chat interaction, it's usually the chats that are, like, unrelated to the code even that get the most interaction. Like, the chat we're having now is totally off topic, but I'm happy to have it because one of the reasons I stream is to just hang out like this. Like, this right here is kind of the experience that I want to make out of this, right? So, and it turns out that my audience seems to agree because that's when people are the most engaged, right? So that kind of helps me realize, like, there's just nothing to worry about. And yes, the live compiler is also really helpful. Okay, we need our CPU now too. Yeah, I used to feel bad about that too, Drew. I totally don't anymore. Like, at all. Exactly, Drew. In a way, it's kind of like owning the live format, but really it's just people don't seem to care. And it makes it more fun for me, so why not? I think it is Dark Second. Oh, that's really cool to hear, Move I think I should really do more of that speedrunning Zelda stuff again. At some point, that was really fun. Oh, Love Like Semtex is watching the watching the live coding thing. Yeah, I just needed a name for the... I actually didn't need to put that in a function, but made it more readable that I did. Speaking of the live coding stuff. Actually, you know what I could probably do? Tell me if you guys think this is a good idea. What if we did a stream where we watch the live coding compo and I commentate on myself? What if I did that? Would that be a good idea? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of fun. Really happy to hear that, Alkama. I hope these are inspiring people to do stuff as well. Yeah, if you guys are into that, I'll totally do a stream like that. I think that'd be really fun. Because I watched it once since then. And it'd be cool to... Because I could comment both on what I was thinking and what I was doing, and then I could also comment on ProVods, which I totally didn't pay attention to while I was up there, of course. In fact, I didn't even see what he was working on until it was over, and I found out that he won. Like, I don't even think I looked at it. I don't remember looking at it. Maybe I did. I don't know. Yeah, indeed, Alkama. Your tool looks quite familiar. In a nice way. That's awesome, Dark Second. Yeah, maybe I'll... So... I think this Sunday I would be able to do that. I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to look at what I had planned, which I don't think I had anything planned for this Sunday specifically. So I'll definitely think about that. In fact, I'm going to add a Slack reminder for me to think about that tomorrow. Because, I don't know, it might be interesting. I actually wasn't 100% unprepared when I went up there. Like, as soon as they started, I sat down and I watched the first couple rounds, and like halfway through the second round, I kind of came up with an idea and I started prototyping it. Mostly I opened the tool to remember the key shortcuts, but I did play around with some of that bit pattern stuff. Are you going to be at Assembly, Alkama? What happened to my CPU state thing? Oh yeah, V810 state, that's what it is. That's awesome, Alkama. I've never been to Assembly. I would love to go one year. I don't think I'm going this year, though. At least I don't know that I am. Although, I should actually really look into that, I just realized. Because I might be taking a bunch of vacation off during that time. Okay, I'm going to definitely consider that. Oh, Mr. Tobe, tell me you're making a demo now. I want more people making demos. I'm not going to lie. Because I think it's wicked fun. Makes me very happy. If you guys want to do that too. Oh, whoops. I forgot to do something here. Hey, yeah, I love like Temtex. I guess that doesn't include you, but it includes the guys you would do it with. Oh, comma, you did not. There was a T-Palm. Look, you can't call your 64Ks crappy. I won't allow it. Because there was. I need to look up which one it was. We're doing this. See, here we are again on one of these. Okay, right. Death in Vegas and Salmiakki. These two demos were super inspiring to me, by the way. And I hope you know that. I don't know if I've ever told you that. I don't know if I've had a chance to tell you that. But both of these were really inspiring to me. I discovered like the demo scene around 2005, 2006. And my computers were crap. So like I had to run demos from several years before. And I really remember these. Doesn't matter if you only debug stuff. You totally worked on those. And I think that's so cool. It's awesome, man. And that's one of the funny things about the demo scene generally, too, is it's so small. There's that old saying, don't meet your heroes. That does not apply to demo scene. Oh, Kame, you are too humble. Dark Second, I think it can definitely be intimidating to like look at audio and not know where to start, but it's really easy if you can get some of the basics down. I would highly recommend. In fact, I'm gonna find a link for this. It was KB of Farbroush did a really good article series that's like 15 years old now, but it's still. I think it's aged actually pretty well, and I still always recommend this for people who want to get into this stuff. I'm actually gonna link it. So I'm actually gonna link Conspiracy's whole article section from their website here. Like you'll want to read those in order, but there's also really cool stuff there about the Conspiracy has written and other people about how they do modeling and stuff, which still, as far as I know, still applies to some degree, even though I think their core tech is a bit different. But I would highly recommend that Farbroush Sound System article series because it's really good. But yeah, but in any case, if you just wanted to do a demo, it's pretty easy to like hook up bass or something and just play audio that way. So like an MP3. But if you're curious about DSP, I still recommend that article series. Kind of weird one to recommend, I guess, because it's very demo specific. But yeah, I got a lot out of it, and it's still one of those ones I like to read every now and again. You know, I wonder if I just want to map these even. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do 64K, you're not going to get around to at least doing some audio. I mean, unless you pull an off-the-shelf, unless you grab an off-the-shelf synth, like 64 Clang was just released, which is a great synth. In many ways, it's a lot better than ours, but ours sounds really good because we use it. Ours works really well for us, but I don't think it's the best synth in the demo scene. Granted, I don't think it's the worst one either, but But yeah, for these entries, I think I want to do this. And then we can do... that. Exactly, Mogans. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm super proud of Wavesaber. And I'm really happy with the work that I've done and also the work that Hoffman's done. And Alkama has also done some work as well, which I'm super happy with. So I'm really proud of that synth. I just, yeah, it's the right stuff for us. Yeah, a party is generally a good place to catch, especially me, but also other people, if you want to talk about music a bit. Another guy to catch and ask about some of that stuff, if you ever have the chance, is Blueberry. The next synth will be a mix of Rust and Assembler, and Blueberry already started on it. And I'll do some work on that for sure. Yeah, but it would be awesome if we got that Mac port running Alkama. Mogans, the synth that I think 64 Clang it's a better synth in terms of the synth core for sure. And the reason why I think that is that like you can literally route anything to anything. The particular mechanism that it supports that our synth does not support is feedback. So there are a lot of physical modeling possibilities, especially, are possible without modifying the synth code. Whereas our synth is a collection of different plugins that work together, which really works well for our workflow because we basically just all use Ableton Live how we normally would, just we restrict ourselves to this set of plugins. But if you want to construct like a radically new kind of sound or kind of instrument, you're going to have to dig into C++. And the workflow is not that great, and you basically have to be me or Hoffman. Ideally, what my hope is that when we release Wavesaber, and that's when, not if, when we release it, I actually hope that most people build their own individual plugins for it using the core and the workflow that we provided, rather than just taking our off-the-shelf set of plugins that we provide and running with that. I mean, some of the ones that are in there will stick around, like the EQ device. I imagine the subtractive synthesizer in there is going to be used a lot. The FM one, probably not as much. And there's like a GMDLS module that's really good in there. And a couple reverbs. So some of that stuff, off-the-shelf stuff, is going to be probably used pretty universally if people use the synth. But my hope is that people would do their own stuff with it. Because I wouldn't say it's anywhere near 64 Clang in terms of, being able to make new sounds really quickly. But if someone wanted to do it, it's not going to stand in your way. Yeah, need to rip off some of the Valhalla DSP ones. Right now, I think the best reverb we have is just Freeverb. If Reverb with a couple filters in the feedback chain, which we use all the time now. Hoffman actually put that together. The only thing I really had to do with it, of course, was making sure we had the filter in the feedback chain. But I don't even know if I can take credit for that because I'm pretty sure he was going to do that anyway. I think that has been the thing that surprised me the most and that I'm the most proud of with Wavesaber as well, is that Hoffman is a guy who he's a musician, but he's also a coder. Like he programs for a living. And like a lot of his Amiga stuff, he's written code for too. Like he's a very talented guy, but he hadn't done any DSP before. And Wavesaber kind of gave him a framework to be able to do that, to dig into that stuff. And I'm really really kind of proud of that. that I was able to provide that to someone like him, and then he was able to really run with it. And a lot of the newer devices, like basically all the devices that we've done since like 2013, were all him, and are all quite good. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, and I don't want to sound like I'm taking credit for his work either. I'm just really proud that that something I made was able to be used by someone in that capacity. That makes me very happy. But yeah, let's do. Here we do .clone. Whoops. Uh-oh. Apparently these are private in the V810. And indeed, several of these are. So I'm going to fix that. Yeah, this will be interesting. Seeing how big this is. So when this builds... Okay, that's a really good sign. So that means I think we're done. At least with this part. There's still another part, which is going to be another mammoth block of code that's going to be really similar to this one I just realized. This is basically going to be duplicated. Because this is a way to get a state, right? We still need a way to apply a state to a Virtual Boy instance. And that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it where you apply it to the Virtual Boy rather than like create a new Virtual Boy and replace it. So it's going to be mostly just setting a lot of these fields from the serialized version. But since it's been a little while today, I think all I'm going to do is go back into our little test project here, and I'm going to create a new instance of a Virtual Boy emulator, and then I'm just going to serialize it, and we see how big that is, because I'm pretty curious how that works, or how that looks. So what we're going to do here, and this project, this project, I'm just making to test this so we can make a mess here if we need to. Let's see. In our Boy Libretro, yeah, so we needed to give it a ROM and an SRAM. And I'm fairly certain if we look at our Boy CLI, we can do ROM load for the ROM. And for the SRAM, we can do SRAM new. We'll start with that. Let's copy this. Which one is that, Alcama? Oh, I didn't know they had barefaced cheek on there. I didn't know that they did, that people did YouTube casts of that. That's really funny. My favorite track that we've done in Wavesaber, at least the one that I've also worked on, is probably Reverence. I'm also really happy with Backscatter. I think those are the two favorites that I've been a part of with Wavesaber. Although we have some unreleased stuff that that I don't know if it'll ever make it into an intro. I want to finish it first, and then it's a weird style for me that I don't know if I'm going to be able to make visuals for. So we might end up releasing that as executable music, but it's actually my favorite by far. But it's unfinished, so. Ooh, I'm into that. Move away. Place your bets. How many kilobytes of JSON will this state generate? I am into that. We'll just do this. In fact, I'll even hard code a path, because why not? This project is never going to be pushed or anything anyway, so. Exactly, Alkama. 2048, 8 megs. I don't think it's going to be that high. But we're going to find out either way. It really doesn't matter which one we use. We'll use bound high. Yeah, I guess literal string would be better than escaping these. Reads a bit better, doesn't it? The serialization thing, where is it again? Here. We call this function getState. Exactly, move away. We need this code that number be pushed to be super tight. Yeah, I don't want to round trip this and print it. I'm gonna save this. Is there? I just want to write all the bytes. I think we just take the string as bytes or something. Anyway, serialize here. Yeah, it does give us a string. So we're going to do this, and we're going to unwrap it. And do this. Yeah, as bytes, that should be what we need. Something like that. Oh yeah, lowercase create. probably should have built that in release. It's taking a while. Exactly, move away. I'm actually going to do that. I bet this will help a lot in this case. I bet we wait less time for this to build and release and run than we do to let it run and debug. Because especially with stuff like serialization, it's usually an order of magnitude faster at least to have optimizations enabled. I feel like that's pretty common. And then I'm going to go to bed. Because I have to get to work early tomorrow so I can leave work early tomorrow so I can be home when they deliver my new chair. That'll be nice. Yeah, exactly, move away. Plus, I kind of want to see how fast this is in release anyway. Because I expect it to actually be pretty fast. Yeah, I have a reminder to test that stuff. It took like 2 seconds to get the state. But yeah, I totally have a reminder to test Rust with VS Code. I've just been really lazy about it. All right, everyone get their bets in. Because we're about to find out. No way. That can't be. This can't be right. You guys are going to laugh. And I bet I know why, actually. I bet it's the way that it serialized... I bet it's the way it serialized the byte arrays. But this is actually pretty funny. I'll give you a hint. The fact that this takes 2 seconds is definitely a clue. Yeah, this is not happening. All right, I'll spill the beans. It's 73 megs. 73 megabytes. And yeah, exactly. So the way that it serialized the ROM, for example, is really naive. Like this could be base 64 encoded and take up a lot less space. And all the RAM and all the VRAM is also stored like this. Yeah, absolutely. Like almost all of the space is those arrays. Here's 128 cache entries. The general purpose registers. Waveform data in the audio unit. And like all our RAM and stuff. I mean, come on. So I bet if we just rewrote, I bet we can do it with we might even be able to customize this with attributes, which I think I'll explore next time. Because I still think JSON is what we want here. I mean, we don't have to do JSON, but or JSON. I always say JSON. But I'm pretty sure that we can, like for the parts where you actually can read it, it's nice to have. So I want to try to do JSON, but we're probably going to have to adjust some parameters here. Though I am curious, just to test really quick. It won't take us very long to just change the format. So actually it would because we'd have to not use a string. Yeah, screw it. We'll actually just work on this next time. But yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with this because it does look like it works at least. And then we'll explore some other ways of getting this smaller next time, which will probably be next Thursday. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I'm totally going to consider doing that commentary stream of where we watch the live coding compo and I comment on it. I'll definitely consider doing that this Sunday. So that should be fun. Anyway, thanks guys for hanging out. And I will see you next time.